Today we're speaking everything that's related to politics, as Lindiwe Sisulu, our very own Minister of Tourism, has been trending on Twitter for the past couple of days. Initially, I thought I wouldn't do this story, but I thought let me cover it because wow, she did have a mouthful to say. So in a recent opinion piece which was published by IOL and obviously written in her personal capacity as a long-standing member of the ANC's National Executive Committee, the NEC, she criticized the South African Constitution, saying it had resulted in a sea of African poverty since the abolishment of apartheid in 1994. She further said that South Africa had adopted a neoliberal constitution that had led to the co-option and invitation of political power brokers to the dinner table, whose job it is to keep the masses quiet in their sufferance while they dine caviar and colonized capital. She further stated or lamented the slow pace of land reform in the country and the exclusion of the black majority from economic participation, stating that the constitution had legitimized wrongdoing under the umbrella of the rule of law. And I must say, wow. I never, not in a million years, knew that Lindiwe Sisulu could write such an opinion piece. I never knew she could write anything. And I'm not trying to come for her, but she doesn't really seem like the brightest match in the box in terms of, politics and everything. She seems like the type of lady or the type of minister that, is into the finer things. She seems like the type that would be dining caviar with, and doing corruption instead of actually speaking about the things that she observes and the current state of politics in South Africa and also under the party that she is actually employed by, the ANC. So it's actually quite refreshing to see that she's able to write such an articulation in the form of the opinion piece that she has published by IOL. And I must say that I see absolutely nothing wrong with what she has said. Anybody that is currently criticizing Lindiwe Sisulu is criticizing because they're either long-standing members of the ANC or supporters of the ANC, and B, because they see nothing wrong with the current state of South Africa as it stands. One of the first points that she made in her opinion piece was that South Africa followed a neoliberal constitution. A neoliberal constitution would be one which provides power to the private realm and one which limits power of state governance and public corporations. We all know that the ANC runs South Africa, and I say that in air quotation marks, but we all know who really runs South Africa, We all know who's really in charge of South Africa and which businesses are really thriving in South Africa. Everything that you see about black power this, black ownership this, black small business this, BEE this, all of that is just a front to try and distract us from the people that are still running South Africa. South Africa is largely run not by the ANC, but by the private sector, those big people, the Ruperts, the big people who are in charge of South Africa and who make decisions and are in cahoots with some of our politicians. The Ruperts are people who are funding the politicians and campaigns in the ANC, and we're supposed to think that the ANC is actually the one calling the shots. No. I've said it, I think it was in a video that I published last year, that our President Ramaphosa, and he's got very close relations with the Ruperts, but obviously this is just my opinion. I don't want to get sued. Not that anyone would ever get anything out of me. But I'd said in a video last year that our current President Ramaphosa, was in very close cahoots with the Ruperts and was getting funding from the Ruperts. Obviously, that's because they're using him as a puppet. I didn't want to say puppet, but they are using him as a puppet. The Ruperts are the puppet master. They're in control, making all the decisions, holding the strings and making it seem as if this black face in South Africa that we have, Ramaphosa, is actually the one that's in charge. But he's actually not. Ramaphosa is actually not. The small 1% of white people in South Africa are still running South Africa. Private sector is still running South Africa. Everything that we are and have been given by our black government, the crumbs that come off of off of their table are just exactly that, crumbs to keep us quiet while they eat caviar with the rich 1% or how many other percent there is in South Africa. And that's that. Anyone that doesn't know that fact is just an idiot. So sorry to say it, it's just an idiot. Yes, everybody knows that there is a sea of poverty in South Africa. How is she wrong in saying that? How many years post-democracy, post-apartheid, are black people still suffering? Yet we're the majority in the country, and you think that our government is doing everything that it can do to try and save us. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you believe that the ANC government is doing everything in their power to try and save us, and that Lindiwe Sisulu and everything that she has said in her opinion piece is wrong, then you are nothing but an idiot. Nothing but an idiot. In South Africa, we have so many blind followers and blind supporters that will chant and say anything for a food parcel come election time. But after elections, we're the ones that have to deal with no electricity in the country, right? Absolutely no electricity in the country. A government grant, yes, we don't need to get it, of about 350 rands for children. Poor public health. The mess they made of coronavirus and the vaccines. Everything, the mismanagement of the country as a whole. We're all so quick and easy to defend the current government that there is because we see no other options in South Africa. Yes, but we should be putting people to question that are not governing the country correctly. And that is exactly what Lindiwe Sisulu is doing in her own personal capacity. She wrote an opinion piece, and that is exactly what it is, her opinion. And I don't think anyone has the right to state whether that opinion is right or wrong. Yes, we have legitimized wrongdoing under the umbrella of the rule of law. We all know what the general principles of the rule of law are. Fairness. No one is above the law. We all know all of that, but we all know that in South Africa, some people really are indeed above the law. You're an idiot if you don't see that. So many politicians are above the law. So many rich people are above the law. So many businesses are above the law. The only people who are accountable to the law in South Africa are poor people or the middle class, the extremely rich people, the millionaires, multimillionaires, and the billionaires get away with a lot. And every year they do investigations into 5 or 6 black people, and we clap hands for them as if they've accomplished I don't know what. The problem that we have with South Africa is that for a long time we haven't been wanting to accept the truth of the matter. And Lindiwe Sisulu has said so many things that have made the government uncomfortable. And we don't care if it makes them uncomfortable. They should be uncomfortable. Because it's how many years post-democracy and the black man is still living in a shack. In Africa. In a continent that's so filled and rich with resources, the black man is still living in a shack with no electricity. And you're trying to tell me that you believe that everything Lindiwe Sisulu said in her opinion piece is wrong? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. So many people on Twitter are rushing to say, Lindiwe this, Lindiwe that, without even having the facts straight. Don't act like you're blind to the circumstances that black people have to deal with. Don't act like you're blind to the corruption that's there out in the streets for you to see. Don't act like you're blind to the rich 1% controlling all of South African resources and business. Don't act like you're blind to that. So don't tell me that you think that Lindiwe Sisulu is wrong for having her opinion. And nobody cares if everybody in the ANC chooses to distance themselves from Lindiwe Sisulu. Oksalayo, she has a backbone. She says what a lot of us are thinking, what a lot of us have been accusing the ANC of, and no one is supporting her at this current moment. But yeah, I got very heated, and this is why I didn't want to do this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't want to make this too long, and I will see you in my next upload. Goodbye, lovelies, and stay woke.